Hello, hello, y'all. It's me, Regina. Let's talk 1943. I usually don't do this in this type of platform, but I wanted to talk about something that I kind of read about today, and I think it's something that we need to talk about because um, everything that we do in life, sometimes things don't come easy. Sometimes it takes time for things to manifest, or it takes time for things to come in fruition. Right? Everything doesn't happen just because you put the time in, and I totally get it. We get tired, we get frustrated, we get aggravated because we feel that the amount of work we put in doesn't equal to the pay that we're receiving, and that's human. That's human. We're gonna feel that way. But one thing about this thing that's called journey in life, sometimes the lessons that are in these moments of stillness, in these moments of uncertainty, of these moments of not understanding the unknown, those sometimes are lessons in those things I call valleys. And so when we have these lessons, we got to kind of figure out what they are and not take it as a time of like stagnant. It's not like nothing's happening. Things are still brewing in the background. There's things happening that we don't see. And because we don't see it, we feel nothing's happening. And a lot of times, right before our breakthrough happens, we give up. And we give up literally right before our breakthrough. So I just wanted to talk about that today because I know there's a lot of us out here doing so many different things. We have so many different goals, so many different aspirations, so many things that we have that we feel, it's supposed to happen now because either it happened to someone else and it happened quicker for them, and for some reason we may feel they less deserving of it, or they do less work to get it and they get it quicker than we do. We all have our own journey. So first of all, we got to stay focused and kind of do tunnel vision, right? And kind of stay in our lane and just focus on what's going on with us. But we have to understand things take time. And one of the great examples, I could give you a couple, but one of the great examples of that is Colonel Sanders. Everybody knows Colonel Sanders, Mr. KFC himself, right? He was 65 years old. 65. He had only one Social Security check to his name. And he went around shopping his idea for his famous chicken. Can I tell you how many times he got denied? 1,009. Not 19, not 119. 1,009 times he was rejected before that one person actually believed in him and gave him his first franchise. How many times would you get your door slammed or get a no or get rejected? Would you do it 1,009 times? Right? He believed in what he was doing. He believed in his product. He believed in his chicken. He was 65, y'all. He was Social Security checking. All right. So he was literally at the other end of his life, and he still believed in something. He believed in what he believed in, and he did not give up on his dream. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand. It's hard. It's so much harder sometimes than what I'm just saying it to you. I'm in the process of growing right now. Like this year is about my growth, about me being strategic in my planning and me building my team, right? It's not that easy, but I knew it was something I had to do, and I'm working on it every single day. I literally had a week last week that I literally shut down for like 3 days, and I stayed on my couch. And I just needed to just kind of just take a breather. I have great things happening, but everything's coming at me at one time, and I'm doing it by myself. I don't have that team yet that I'm working on. I'm working on that. But I know God has his plan and is working the way that he sees favor. So before you decide to give up, ask God what was his plans with you. Because it's not about you giving up. It's about what the plans or the divine order of the plans are taking place, right? A lot of times we kind of jump in front of that and we got to get into our feelings and we do what we feel is right. And I'm personally could tell you, I'm one of those, right? Because we all fall short. But if we kind of decide to listen to what God says and kind of put ourselves aside and really just understand that in these valleys are lessons and these are growth spurts and growing pains. I'm literally going through a growing pain right now. I've been blessed and highly favored that I am now, able to do things like, for example, I'm back in Vegas again. I've been here 2 weeks ago. I'm back again. I'm in the studio doing some segments, doing some interviews with some amazing people, right? This wasn't me a year ago. This wasn't me a year ago. So it's happening. Yes, of course, I want it to be quicker. Yes, of course, I want to be able to, speak every weekend and do all these things that are going to happen. They're coming. Oh, they coming. I believe and I know they are because that's what he told me. He promised me this stuff. So I'm going to get it. It's just that he sees when it's time. Sometimes we want things before we're ready. It looks good. The grass always looks greener. But a lot of times you want this stuff, but you're not really your abilities, your capacity, and your mindset is not ready for those things. You think you're ready, but if you get that powder on top of you, you'll get overwhelmed and get stressed out or whatever the case is. You don't want that either. You want to be able to enjoy the growth and be able to go through the pains, but yet have the abilities, have the capacity, have your team. I'm building my team. So as I'm building my team, I don't want too much because I can't do everything by myself no more. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at a point that I can't do it all by myself. I need people who are better with this stuff than I am. I need those people that's smarter than me in that room right now. I'm the one in the room. I need other people that's better than I am so I could be able to grow this thing. So a lot of times we got to think of things on that kind of term, like that kind of thing. We got to think in that realm of it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's a difference. I'm going to say that again. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Those rejections are for you. Those doors closings are for you. For you to get laid off, it's for you. It's not being done to you. And when you change your mindset and you understand your assignment and get that, oh, that didn't work out because it's a better plan behind this other door, right? It's not bad. We think of things like that being bad. We think about getting fired is bad. We think getting laid off is bad. Change your mindset. It's not a bad thing because God has other things for you and you're taking your time or you're not listening. He's going to make those doors close so other ones can open. But if you're going to take it and say, well, my source is this job or my source is this person or whatever the case is, no, they are temporary sometimes and you got to shift to the next source. He's your source for everything and he directs your sources out with what he's going to use for you for the next source. So it's basically a mindset change that a lot of times we got to do a shift. And so I just wanted to bring this up today because I know there's a lot of people are right at that brink of their breakthrough and they're about to give up. And it's a shame that you did all this work and all this time for you to give up right then. You know, the devil's working. He's out there working. A lot of times he gets you to think that this is it. Nothing's going to happen. You're a failure. And, I always redefine that word. Failure means doing nothing. I'm going to repeat that one. I think someone in the back didn't hear that. Failure is doing absolutely nothing. That's what failure means. When you do something and it doesn't work out the way you feel it should work out, that's not failure. That's called reset, repivot, and adjust. That's all that is. It's not failure. How can you feel when you try something? Think about it. How can you fail if you try something? If a person will sit there and say you're a failure, that's this insecurities talking because you're not failing. You're actually out there making it happen. You just got to readjust and retweak your whatever that is. That's it. It's all your mindset. I could say the same thing you're saying, but if my mindset is set that it's not a bad thing, that it's just a thing of a lesson or a valley, and you think of it as being a bad thing or a setback or a failure, that's the road you're going to take. And that's the results you're going to get. You're going to get exactly what you just said. If you feel you're a failure, you're going to fail. If you feel that you failed, you failed. If I feel that I just need to repivot and readjust, that's all I need to do, then I'm going to go ahead and go back out there and do it again because I know that it's just something I just got to do. It's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. That's all it is. Life is a big journey, and we all go through stuff. Believe me, I literally shut down the other day because I knew my capacity was at this limit, and I needed to sit still for a second and let God work with me and let him direct me because I started directing myself again. And when I started directing myself, that's what happens. But when I decide to let him kind of direct it and I kind of just go the way he leads, things fall in place easier. But when I start taking the wheel and start trying to drive, then that's what happens a lot of times. So I had to kind of stop myself. We all gonna have to, it's not a perfect situation. Yes, I'm a life coach. Yes, I'm out here doing this stuff. Yes, 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 yes. But guess what the difference is? We all are still human beings, but the difference is you catch yourself when you do your work. And when you catch yourself, you go, okay, I see it happen. I see what's about to happen. Let me shut it down. Let me just sit still for a second because I see what's happening. That's the difference between a person who's doing their work and a person who's not. A person who's not is going to keep knocking their head and keep trying to get the different result with the same way of doing things. So sometimes you just got to sit still, regroup, pivot, and reset. It doesn't mean quit. It doesn't mean stop. It doesn't mean change your plans. It just means you need to take a breather and readjust. So for my Let's Talk family today, always remember, God's with you. He's never going to leave you. He's never going to forsake you. He may redirect you. He may take you down another road. He may kind of open doors or close doors for you. But everything that happens to you is happening to you, not to you, but for you. And if you see it that way, you will enjoy the journey a little better. And like I said, we all human. We all fall short. We all got our moments. We all got our days. Me too. But I always try to remember this stuff because when things start happening, I understand it's part of this journey that I'm going through right now. And I need to just embrace it and understand there's a lesson in this. And I need to figure out the lesson so I could get out of this level. Like you play those video games and you get to a certain level and you can't get out. You figure out, then you got to find out what it is. And then you get out, you go to the next level. And then you have to fight all these people to get through that, right? Same thing as a video game. You get to certain levels, you got to figure it out. And then you graduate, you go to the next level, and then you go to the next level. A lot of us are skipping levels, and we're missing the lesson inside of the level we're supposed to be in because we don't want to. We want to get to the next one as fast as possible, but that's what keeps kicking you back because you have not learned a lesson on the level behind it or below it. So that's what we got to do. So I love you. Until next time, God bless. ReGina Smithwick, Let's Talk, 1943. Have a good one.